All right, hi, this is Miss G. Okay, the first thing that we're gonna learn this semester is a basic new growth gray coverage application, okay? So what I want you to get familiar with is just the basic technique, and we're gonna learn about all the supplies that we're gonna need, as well as I want you to watch very closely how I do this application, okay? All right, so we're gonna have a tray ready. When your client comes in, she's already going to be, your first thing you're gonna do is get her draped with a towel and a chemical drape, okay? Second thing we're gonna look at is our tray. So I have a towel protecting the tray because you're more than likely gonna drip your product. This is the gel that I recommend you get at Sally's. It's about $10 for this thing and it should last you a good amount of time. You're gonna use gel as your mock application solution for now. Eventually, yes, we're gonna get to where we're actually using real hair color or a lightener, but for now we're gonna just stick with our gel solution, okay? So you wanna get 2 ounces of product, okay? You can weigh it or you can get a little measuring cup, either way. I want you to get used to using only 2 ounces. Okay, because you got to think about your product is your money. This is what you're spending your money on. Other than that, it's just your time and your skill that they're paying for. So you don't want to use $10 worth of product when you can use $5 worth of product. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is measure 2 ounces of product, and we're going to put it in our tint bowl. Now there's all kinds of tint bowls. This is just a basic one from Sally's, okay? If this were real hair color, we would have 1 ounce of hair color and 1 ounce of developer in here, probably. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and, after that's measured, put it in our tint bowl. We have a tint brush. There's plenty of different kinds. There's a basic one you can get at Sally's that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna have 4 clips here because I want to separate the hair into my 4 equal quadrants. Okay, detangling comb or brush, gloves, and then I'm ready. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna go to is our client. We're gonna make sure that she is draped with a towel and a cape. We don't want more than anything the product getting on her clothes, and we want to keep her dry as much as possible, okay? All right, so first thing I'm going to do is detangle. Remember that when you're detangling, you are also doing that scientific brushing. Okay, we're looking at the scalp. I don't want to put lightener on her scalp if she has an issue there, okay? If she's got sores or abrasions or any kind of scalp condition, lice, I'm looking at that. Of course, we're talking with our client and letting her know what we're gonna do or how she's doing, asking questions, but we're also brushing that hair very good and looking at the same time at the scalp condition all over. And then we're gonna make sure, after our scientific brushing, that it's completely detangled, because we don't wanna be dealing with tangled hair when we're doing our application. So it has to be completely detangled. The other thing with the hair color application, it has to be dry. It is very rare that we're ever gonna apply a product on our client's head that the hair is wet, okay? 9 times out of 10, it needs to be dry, okay? So if she's gonna get a haircut, we're gonna do it after we shampoo our hair color out. So we would never do a haircut first unless they're just going from this to a bob. Then we don't want to waste product. We would go ahead and trim that, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna do my basic 4 quadrants, which are always going in the center of the head or the center of the face, pulling it straight back, separating that. I want you to make sure you're getting in the habit of using your comb, all the teeth in your comb. So not just one tooth of your comb, but all the teeth. That way when I go like pull that back, I can separate that whole thing into right and left quadrants or sections. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is find her ear. I'm gonna go right behind her ear and put my finger here, and I can easily go from the top of the head straight down to my finger and separate that. Now I have a front and back separation. Okay. I do want to make sure that I have all of this hair out of the way. I can clearly see my quadrant. So I'm not going to accidentally pull this hair here or here. I'm going to stay in my quadrant. So that's very important. So I twist this really close to the head, and then I'm just going to clip it off. Okay. And I'm going to do that all the way around so that I have 4 equal quadrants. And we can do the whole Princess Leia thing all day and make her space buns and all that stuff, but main thing we want to do is just clip it out of the way. So nice and tight to the scalp, and then just clipping it here, that's going to be good enough. We don't have to wad it up into all these little bitty balls and all that. And then down the center in the back. I'm always going to start hair color applications in the most resistant area of the head, which is in the back. Okay. So the first thing that we want to do is we're going to put on our gloves. First of all, if you haven't worn gloves and applied hair color, you will know that that's a mistake. You're going to look like a mechanic and end up with brown fingernails or black fingernails. So we always want to wear gloves. All right, now we're going to pretend that this is a new growth gray coverage application. So most women color their grays every 4 to 6 weeks, and usually you're going to have about an inch or a ½ inch of new growth. So you're going to have a clear line of where that gray is and then the previous brown hair color. Okay, it's rare that you're going to do an all over gray coverage application unless they're just brand new to hair coloring. But for the most part, this application, we're going to do 1 inch of new growth. So I'm not going to overlap color onto previously colored hair. I want to try as best as I can to just cover 1 inch. Okay, so the most important thing I can tell you is you have to pull this hair. So I'm going to start right here in the right rear quadrant. Okay, I'm pulling this hair tightly so that I have control over it and I can see my entire section. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is with all my brush applications, okay, I clearly have product on one side and not the other. Okay, so I have that little product on my one side of my brush only. Okay, all right, I'm going to outline the section that I'm working on. So I'm going to put this on that line that you see on the scalp, and I'm only doing that again for the first inch. Okay, get more product, and I'm going to completely go all the way around, and I'm actually putting color on the scalp. Okay, it's naturally going to fall down that hair shaft with the heat of her scalp. It's going to liquefy this product, of course not on a mannequin, but on a person, it's going to liquefy this product and it's naturally going to run. So our main goal is to get it directly on the scalp. Okay, and then I'm just going to go all the way around. So I've outlined my whole quadrant. Okay, then I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to go horizontally all the way down this section. So I'm going to start at the top. It almost looks like a little triangle here. And I'm going to make sure that I have hair color all the way around this little triangle. see that? So I'm going across my section, and I'm going 1 inch of product on all 3 sides of this little triangle, okay? And I have pulled tightly on this hair so that every single hair is standing up, okay? And then I'm laying it down. We're not gonna slap it in her face. We wanna just lay it across the head. So when I take my next slice, from here to my next slice should be about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm actually pressing the tip of my my brush across from one side of this all the way to the other, pulling it up and pulling that. So you can see already these hairs are not completely straight. So when I pull this, I'm actually getting enough tension that I can see every hair is standing straight up off her scalp. So I'm gonna just do it on one side, my 1 inch of application, and flip it, okay? So you're gonna get into a kind of robot mode of slicing, pulling, and applying. So I'm gonna go underneath every single time. Don't get in the habit of going on top and then on the bottom, top and the bottom, top and the bottom. Don't work yourself too hard, and you're gonna waste a lot of product if you do that. So